In other news, President Cyril Ramaphosa has eaten humble pie on a visit to Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu. The unscheduled visit took place at the Tutu home in Hermanus. Ramaphosa apologized for when the Archbishop lost confidence in the governing party. Tutu had been a hardened critic of former President Jacob Zuma's administration and the ANC under Zuma's leadership.
I also want to, apart from thanking you, to also apologize that we did put you through, especially you, through a period where you lost confidence in the leadership of the country. It was not a pleasant moment to hear you as the Archbishop that we've always loved expressing your loss of hope and your loss of confidence. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry we put you through that, but we will work very hard to regain your confidence and make you proud. We will do that.
Thank you. Thank you. And please convey our deepest love and assurances of prayer for your family.
Yes. Thank you.
And then, of course, your colleagues.
My colleagues as well.
You've got to succeed.
We'll work to succeed.
Failure is not an option.
ANC NEC member and head of the presidency in the ANC, Zizi Kodwa, joins us now from our Cape studios, straight from that meeting. Good evening, Mr. Kodwa. Thanks very much for talking to us. Well, what prompted that meeting in the first place?
Good evening, Vuyo. You would have observed post the 54th National Conference of the ANC, in the context of a renewal, the officials have embarked on what is called a revolutionary pilgrimage, visiting persons, associations, organizations who were prominent, outstanding, who played an outstanding role during the time of our liberation struggle. And one of those outstanding individuals is none other than Archemeritus Bishop Tutu. As you are aware that we visited these individuals, be they traditional, be they religious, among other things, firstly, to report to them about a successful 54th National Conference and its resolutions, but secondly, to say to them, working together with them, these individuals, associations, we've got a role to play, but also in the context of the new dawn, which characterizes the positive optimism that has engulfed our country coming out of a successful conference. It's important to report that these individuals, persons and associations who historically have been traditional allies of the African National Congress and the liberation struggle, some of them moved away because of some of the developments within the party and broadly in the country. And therefore, it is in the context of that renewal and revolutionary pilgrimage that the president undertook this visit on behalf of the National Executive Committee.
Well, knowing the Arch, I'm sure, before wishing the president and the rest of the ANC leadership well, he would have raised quite a number of issues.
The Arch was overjoyed by the visit. The Arch was overjoyed the fact that the President of the Republic and the President of the ANC took time from his busy schedule to drive about 40-50 kilometers out of Cape Town to visit him and the family, Mama Leah. And it was important to do so because given the past where he comes from, and the President does express this in the apology, that indeed the Arch has been a very vocal critique of the evil regime of apartheid, including his own government, the democratically elected government of the people of South Africa, led by his own party, the African National Congress. And he continues to be very critical, and he was overjoyed because in him there's been a difference since Nazareth. He was overjoyed by the positive optimism that has engulfed our country, and therefore he was almost in tears to express how much his family and himself appreciates the new developments and the confidence that has now been restored by the new leadership led by President Cyril Ramaphosa, but also the confidence of our people that, in his own words, that it looks like we are becoming what we were intended to be during the time of President Tata Mandela.
Well, I mean, what did the Arch, though, say made him lose confidence in the ANC in the first place?
Well, as you are aware that Arch has been a moral critic and a moral voice of the voiceless about issues of ethical leadership, the issues of morality, the issues of credibility and integrity, which are part of the overall program of renewal. And we are aware that he has been a very vocal critic of corruption and issues about state capture. He was very worried about the direction which our country was taking. And I think because of that, it was important that we go and report to what an extent the resolutions adopted by the African National Congress seek to address and restore confidence, restore credibility. That's why it's important, the issue of credibility and integrity, because, but Vuyo, you know this better than I do, that the credibility of a message is in the integrity of the messenger. And therefore the issue of integrity in leadership and trust and honesty, including owning up to your own weaknesses, is part of that integrity, because you can't self-correct if you can't admit that which you have done was wrong.
Did the Arch mention names of people he thought brought the ANC to what it is today?
I think the Arch was very, to an extent that he was overjoyed. He was more looking forward. I mean, he was almost in tears. If I were to take his own words, that to an extent that the visit characterized a change, that even if he were to go from this earth, he were to go peacefully, knowing that his own country, his own liberation movement has now gone to what it was intended to be. It was almost in tears that the Arch had to utter those words, that indeed it has been, we have been, all of us collectively as a people, through a painful period as a country. It is in that context that the president then offered an apology and said sorry on behalf of the leadership of the ANC, that we have some extent disappointed the Arch, who was part of the collective that fought and defeated the evil regime of apartheid. Like all South Africans who had hope and expectations to the leadership of the ANC, one way or another, they got disappointed, but we are now turning the corner. And I think it was important to do so, that we must give hope not only to the Arch, but also to the leader who has led many struggles and gave hope to the people of this country and to the people of the world, that brought South Africa as a beacon of hope to the people of this country and a beacon of people of the world, led by Arch Emeritus.
Zizi, thank you very much for talking to us this evening. Zizi, of course, straight from that visit by President Cyril Ramaphosa to the home of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu.